Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man, and it's another Regulatory Tuesday. And today I'm actually going to talk about a new Senate bill. This is Senate Bill 501 in the Oregon State Senate. The Oregon State Senate, people, not the federal Senate, not Congress for the federal government, but the Oregon State government. But Bill 501 is still a very dangerous thing. So let's talk about what it does. So it will require a person to secure a permit before purchasing or receiving a transfer of a firearm. It will make conditions for receiving that permit, create the manner and time and application process for said permit, create procedures for appealing the denial of said permit, and also make it criminally punishable for failure to get the permit by 364 days imprisonment, a $6,250 fine, or both. Now, this bill would also require persons who own or possess a firearm to secure said firearm with a trigger lock, a cable lock, or a locking container. And failure to lock your firearm up would secure you a 30-day imprisonment in jail, or a $1,250 fine, or both. It will also make it illegal to possess a firearm and fail to report it to a law enforcement agency over 24-hour period. So if you go 24 hours without noticing that your gun is missing, and then you report it, you will be subject to 30 days imprisonment, a $1,250 fine, or both under this law. Now, it also restricts the possession of magazines and restricts the capacity of all magazines to 5 rounds of ammunition. And it provides a person in possession of such a magazine must sell or otherwise dispose of the magazine within 180 days of the effective date of the act, and punishes unlawful possession of such a magazine holding more than 5 rounds by a maximum of 364 days in jail imprisonment, a $6,250 fine, or both. It requires a criminal background check before the transfer of ammunition and restricts you to 20 rounds of ammunition in a 30-day purchase period. And it would restrict the sale and transfer of firearms through a gun dealer or a private party to a minimum 14-day waiting period after the state police have determined if the recipient is qualified to receive the firearm. So, basically, if this law passes the Oregon legislature, Governor Brown will sign it, of course, because she heartily supports gun control. But as a serious recap here, this will establish a 14-day waiting period, restrict you to purchasing 20 rounds of ammunition in a 30-day period with a background check, require you to acquire a permit to purchase a firearm, not to carry a firearm, but to purchase it. It will restrict all magazine capacities to 5 rounds or less, and it will make it unlawful to not report a stolen weapon within a 24-hour period. So, this will effectively ban all semi-automatic weapons, because I honestly don't know of a semi-automatic rifle, shotgun, or handgun with a capacity below 5 rounds. Even the M1 Grand holds 7 rounds. My little .380 Auto from Springfield, the Springfield 911, a defensive handgun, holds 6 rounds. Most semi-automatic hunting shotguns hold between 5 and 7 rounds, depending upon what you load in them, because they can accept 3-inch shells or 2 3/4-inch shells, or the ones that are designed to hunt things like geese hold 3.5 or 3-inch shells. And when you start talking about, a 5-round capacity for 3.5-inch shells, you end up with a 7-round capacity for 3-inch shells. And if you're talking a shotgun that's designed to hold, say, 3-inch shells, when you go to a 2 3/4-inch shell, you get 6 rounds in the tube. And if you've got even one of the few shotguns that are actually designed for 2 3/4-inch shells, if you go to some of the mini shotgun shells with the adapter, which are only about an inch, you get 9 rounds in the tube. So you've effectively banned all shotguns that are pump action or semi-automatic. And even your pump action or lever action rifles, most of them hold more than 5 rounds standard. And there are even many bolt action rifles that hold more than 5 rounds. In fact, the Savage Scout, which is a bolt action 308 rifle, holds a whopping 10 rounds. 10 rounds in its removable magazine. The truth is that 10 rounds is not that uncommon for a detachable magazine, and is not really all that uncommon even for a fixed magazine. My SKS holds 10 rounds with its fixed magazine. There are many 270s or 22 Hornets or even 22 rimfire or 17 HMR rimfires, which hold between 6 and 11 rounds in their fixed magazine or their detachable magazine, whichever the particular model holds. And so when you start talking about banning capacity to 5 rounds or less, heck, there are many revolvers that hold more than 5 rounds. That's right, revolvers that hold more than 5 rounds. The Ruger Straight 9, which is a 22 rimfire, holds a whopping 9 rounds in the cylinder. And restricting it down to 5 basically means that no modern firearms are going to be available anymore to the general public in Oregon, because except for a handful of specialty hunting rifles which hold 3 to 5 rounds, and a handful of revolvers that might still be on the market, like the classic Colt Peacemaker, which is still being made in very limited qualities, holds 5 rounds of 45 long Colt. Most of your weapons on the market hold more than 5 rounds. And so the whole point of this bill is to basically ban firearms and make it impossible to get ammunition except in a limited capacity to hunt, because it will basically and effectively ban any weapon that is not exclusively designed to hunt and passes the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife's hunting regulations. Well, I want to thank you all again for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're in the state of Oregon or you know somebody in the state of Oregon. You need to speak to them and get them to speak up about this bill. I don't think it will hold up in court, but this is the West Coast we're talking about. And once this kind of law gets passed, it is likely that many other states will try to follow. And we must stand up in these states and all other states and say we're not going to allow this. I am going to include a link to the Senate proposed bill in the description down below, along with links to my social media and my other video sites. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, or thumbs up and subscribe, and to join me on those media sites. I do try to keep up on them as much as I can, but I can't be on them all the time. So just come on over, sign up, hang out, and you'll get more information from me than just on my videos. And as always, have yourself a